Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello and welcome to the Leveling Up Podcast with me, George Swift. The Leveling Up Podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation, but above all else, to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Today it is Friday and therefore this is our Friday 5-minute fix. Shorter podcast episodes designed to get you thinking going into the weekend, pondering on life, the universe, business and everything, and then coming out on Monday all guns blazing. Today I just want to really reflect on some themes of this week's episodes. We talked about playing the long game, and within that I talked about the rocky road that is entrepreneurism. I talked about how it's a bugger of a job to create success. It's certainly not the easy option. You have to work harder than most people. You have to work more hours than most people, and you're gonna get less rewards than most people for some time. But then it all comes together and then you get to win. You get to have it all. So my big question to you going into this weekend is really simple. Why go through all of this? Why put yourself through this entrepreneurial journey? Why put yourself through the pain, the suffering, the misery, the failure, the embarrassment sometimes, the humiliation, the stress, the worry, the anxiety, the sleepless nights, the judgment, the ridicule? Why would you put yourself through all this? Have you asked that question recently? I know there's a reason why you set up your business in the first place. It might have been you were made redundant and you didn't want to go and work for somebody else, or you just felt you could do a better job on your own, or you just didn't want a boss, still want to be answerable to someone else. You wanted the freedom. Maybe you set up because you wanted to be a millionaire. I don't know. But when was the last time you really sat back and pondered for a while, like, why am I going through all of this? And I mean that in the positive sense of the word. Occasionally we all sit there with our heads in our hands thinking, why on earth did I go down this path? It's a bit like the Matrix, and you're thinking, why didn't I take the blue pill? But you know what? You're here. You set up your business. There was a reason why you set up your business. And even if you're going through hell at the moment with it, I want you just to remember why that is. And maybe if you've been in business now for a little while, it's possible that actually it's changed. It's possible you set up your business because, you know, maybe you felt like you had limited options, or maybe you just thought you'd go contracting for a while and then one thing led to another and you kind of ended up with a business. I always say there's, two types of entrepreneurs. There's the one that accidentally finds himself in the business, and then there's the one that deliberately sets up a business. More often than not, with small business owners, they tend to accidentally find themselves running a business. You know, you're a HR professional, you got made redundant, you then went, kind of consulting, and then you got some clients and a few more clients, and then you couldn't handle the workload. So you hired someone to help you on the admin, and maybe then you hired someone to help you with the deliverables. And before you know it, you accidentally end up running a business. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you set up your business absolutely deliberately because you wanted to create something. Either way, I want you just to pause for a moment and just ask yourself, why put yourself through all this? I know you succeed. I know you have wins, and I know you have joys. And I'm hoping that being an entrepreneur for you is the most awesome job in the world, because it is, but it doesn't always feel like that at all the times. And it's important to remember, why am I going through all this? Because if we lose sight on the end goal, if we lose sight of our passions and our purpose, the meaning behind what it is we're trying to do, then I'm telling you now, it can feel like just hard work. It can feel like just long hours, and it can feel absolutely soul destroying. It's so important to stay in touch with your vision for your business, your vision for yourself, your vision for your family, your vision for what it is you're trying to create in this world. If there's a mission behind what you're doing, or if there's a higher purpose behind what you're doing, it's so important to remember these things consistently, because the theme on Wednesday was all about going the distance and playing the longer game. And if you can't be still in the game 5 years from now, 10 years from now, playing it hard, playing it like it was your first year in business, playing it with all the optimism and all the positivity and all the ambition. If you can't bring that every year consistently, year after year, then you are potentially imprisoning yourself in struggle for the remainder of your days in business. I want you to succeed. This podcast exists to help you succeed. Bigger, Brighter, Bolder, my company that's celebrating 10 years in business this week, it exists to help business owners, entrepreneurs become more successful, to set themselves free, to become who they need to become, to create what they want to create, but ultimately to give them the fulfillment of life, to give them the life that they choose for themselves, to live in a way that they choose, to work with the clients that they choose, to earn the money that they choose, to employ the people that they choose, to work in industry sectors that they choose, to sell the products that they choose, and to do it all in a way of their own choosing. That's why I exist. That's why this podcast exists. And that's why Bigger, Brighter, Bolder, 10 years this week, bless its little socks, exists as well. Remind yourself right now, going into the weekend, hold on to that, and just remind yourself, why am I putting myself through all of this? If you're having a good time right now, I get it. You might not need to do that. However, it's a good habit to do. I always say, train in the good times for the bad times. When you go through tough times in business, that's when it's going to be hardest to hold on to these kind of thoughts that I'm asking you to. When you're absolutely feeling like hell, when it feels like the world and everything in business is just kicking you in the crutch day after day or even hour after hour, it can be really hard in those times to remember why you're doing this. So if you're having a great time right now, guess what? Condition yourself, train yourself to be able to tap into and harness these positive energies that exist in you and in your business. Why are you going through this? Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the outcome you're working for? The selfish outcome just for you, and I say that in the nicest possible way. The outcome you want for those people closest to you, maybe your family, your loved ones, your children, but also, your clients, your mission in the world. The more readily you can connect with those powerful drivers, the easier it's going to be to reconnect with those things when you absolutely need them. That being said, if you're going through hell right now, you're going to have to work twice as hard, but it is going to pay off. Reconnect yourself with what it is that you set out to achieve. Then ask yourself, is it still the same stuff, or have you evolved? Has business evolved? Maybe the world around you has evolved. Maybe your purpose has evolved. Maybe why you're in business today and maybe what you're going to create in the future is different to what you set up to achieve. And it's important to make sure you reevaluate these things, connect with these things, keep these things like strong fires burning in you as much as humanly possible, because that's going to give you the strength, the power. It's going to give you the energy to continue this often turbulent landscape that is business and entrepreneurism. Take that positivity into the weekend. If you find yourself at a loose end, then don't forget the 6-figure fast track is waiting for you. How to take your 5-figure service-based business to 100K revenue or more in the next 12 months or less. biggerbrightbolder.co.uk/fast track is the URL. I'll drop that in the descriptions. Get yourself on that if you haven't done so already. It's my webinar masterclass to help 5-figure businesses doing 20, 30, 40, maybe 50,000 in turnover. And I want to help you break that 100K turnover mark. Why? Because once you break £100,000 in turnover, that's when you get options. You get to buy yourself the lifestyle that maybe you wanted when you first set out your business. And if you want to create that empire, you can start to reinvest that capital, reinvest that money, and you can start to build that empire once you break that 100K plus mark. I wish you every happiness, every success over the weekend doing whatever it is that you're doing. I'll see you Monday. And until then, as always, be successful.
Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.